Patreon Q&A number 63, part 2. Part 1 was released earlier today. I want to thank all 87, that is amazing, of my patrons. Guys, your support is incredible to me, and it helps me out so much, and it makes everything so much better. So thank you again. I love you guys. And to everyone else listening, there's going to be spoilers in these question and answers, so tread carefully. Legandaryus asked, does Metal Knight have a Gundam or a Jaeger that is better than Child Emperor's? What do you think the size of it would be? Also, what would his whole lab look like? So yeah, he definitely has like a Gundam or a Jaeger that is way stronger than Brave Giant, in my opinion at least. And I think he already initially did, but now I think he has like a mech robot thing that is outfitted with Boros' ship's technology. That is, in my opinion, 95% chance likely of happening. That we're going to see like one of his robots or something like that with Boros' ship's tech. Because he had it, we've seen him take it for a reason. It's mentioned in the data book also. We're going to see that. I don't think it's going to be much bigger than what his standard Metal Knight robot is. Like, it's like, I don't know, not that big, like 10 feet tall or something like that, somewhere around there. So I don't think it'll maybe be 12 feet or I think at the most 20 feet. I don't think it'll be like a huge, massive robot the way that like his construction at Walker robot was. I think it'll be more streamlined than that. And his lab is probably like, I don't know, a mile in diameter. Just taking a guess. It's got to be massive because the output of robots that he's making, like the mass production of it, and just the capability of creating like the construction at Walker robot that we just mentioned, you got to have some kind of massive compound. And also, like, it's unknown where it is. And I think he said that he's underground somewhere. So he might have, like, something way bigger than the Monster Association just chilling underground or something crazy like that. We are going to see it. I think for sure there is going to be a portion of the story where we go way deep into Metal Knight, considering that things are building up that way, since he seems to be a future threat to Saitama. Or, you know, I use threat lightly. I think we're going to get everything revealed about Metal Knight in the future, and seeing his lab is one of them, and seeing his most powerful robot is most definitely going to be one of them, and it's probably going to be ridiculously strong too, like released Boros level, somewhere around there. Just taking a guess. Also, you know, the power has to advance as the story goes on, and by that time, we're going to see like standard top villains being like released Boros level, in my opinion. James P. asks, hey man, I was wondering if Saitama and Blast were to actually meet. In your mind, would it be more philosophical meetup where they swapped ideas about life and walk away without a single physical attack being thrown, or a crazy wanting to relive the glory days, old bull versus new bull, where Saitama doesn't want to fight the old crazy guy, or any other way they meet up would end? Thanks for everything. I don't think the meeting ends up in a fight. I don't know why. It's just a random thought about one's writing. So, it's possible that this could happen. I would be very disappointed if they don't fight and they just kind of have a war of words and then walk away after that. But if it was really well done, which one could totally do, then I would respect it. And I would be fine with it. But I do think it's inevitable for these two to fight. So my theory, which doesn't really have much water to it, but it's just kind of something I'm thinking about, is that Blast is probably going to see Saitama as a threat to humanity, and that's why he's going to take him down. Similar to like how Batman initially saw Superman. Just because, you know, the thing that they dropped about about Blast, where like he's only going to come out if humanity truly needs it, if humanity is truly in power, like he's the only one that can take care of them. So like if Blast sees Saitama as that being that person, then he's like, okay, I got to step in here. But they do have similarities, because Blast did say that being a hero is just like a hobby to him, and he also has that whole stance where it's like if you're expecting someone to come save you, don't expect someone to come save you in the moment. So they could have like-minded morals and stuff like that if they were to talk, but man, I really hope that they fight. But in what you're saying here, I'm not saying that that's completely out of the realm of possibility. It does seem like that could happen, since they are kind of like-minded, so they could talk things out possibly, but I just want them to fight so much. What do you think of the new Pokemon game? I freaking love it! I love this game so much. I've always been a fan of the Pokemon games. But this one is especially great. I know that it had a rocky start, you know, with the whole cancel Game Freak or whatever, Game Freak lied, and maybe they did, but I love this game. I have no issues with it. I don't need the national decks. I think everything about it is awesome, and I've just been playing it really whenever I've gotten the chance to. I just love it so much. And what do you think? Do you think there is a worldwide power scale in My Hero Academia? If there is, how does Japan compare to it? So there is a worldwide power scale, but I think Japan is definitely at the top of it. Because like in sports, like when you see like a certain country dominate like that specific sport, like they'll have all of the talent coming out of like one country or something like that. I think that's what we have going on with the My Hero world here, because the two strongest hero or the two strongest beings to ever exist have come out of Japan. One for All and All Might. All for One. I'm sorry, All for One and All Might. And given that All Might is pretty much the strongest hero to ever live and the most famous and the #1 hero, and he's in Japan, that probably plays a part into why all of the talent is in Japan, because they're all trying to chase after him and whatnot. Peter Y asks, "Hey Shonen, I'm back." Hey, thanks for coming back, Peter. Who will win? Monster Bakuzan versus Suiryu? Thanks. So, I know that some people will say, well, Monster Bakuzan already defeated Suiryu. Well, it wasn't really that clear cut. There was a lot of things that went into that. Suiryu was damaged, fatigued, everything else. Mentally drained, if that counts. But we're just talking about fresh Suiryu. We could even say he's motivated versus regular Monster Bakuzan. This would be very, 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 very high diff for Suiryu to be able to pull this one out, because Suiryu doesn't seem to be a definitive dragon the way that Bakuzan is, or at least by the estimation of Goketsu, and given his feats and the way that he did handle a damaged Suiryu, he's mainly low dragon level, which is still pretty darn powerful. Suiryu, I think he could take him, but it's going to be like Darkshine versus Carnage Kabuto level stuff, like 15 minutes, full power, and then maybe he can take him down. But I'm not completely counting him out of this. But it really depends on Suiryu's mindset and how far he can push himself. Because he was already strong enough to like break Bakuzan's toe, so that's something, I guess. Wolf Pup, the one above all patrons, asks, "Howdy Shonen, hope all is well." Yeah, it is well, Wolf Pup, thanks. I hope it is for you as well too. My first question is, what would happen if King stormed Area 51 all by himself? We know he is considered to be the most powerful man on Earth. His strength is so feared that criminals and mysterious beings will often surrender before having to fight him. Also, let's not forget that he has tremendous amount of meta luck and charisma and can manipulate the universe to his favor. If he Naruto ran to Area 51, would the researchers abandon their work and hightail out of there with their tail between their legs, knowing there's a god coming to rain disaster on them? His way too overpowered man. I could see King ring the doorbell, and they have a doorbell at Area 51, and then they see who it is, and then they raise the alarm and hightail it out of there. So I don't think it would necessarily be fear. They would definitely be intimidated by him, and they would feel anxious, but they know that King is an ally of justice, and he is the, S-class rank 7 hero, so they would more so be welcoming to him. They wouldn't try to shoot him or anything like that, or they wouldn't even stop him. They'd turn off the alarms, and they would just "Oh, King, yes, please come in. Yes, whatever you need, sir." And then he would just get to see all of the aliens and all that stuff. So I think it would be more welcomed rather than them just running away in fear, because, it's King. They know that he's a good guy. My second question is, what is your top 3 favorite B-Train anime shows? Mine are Noir, Hack/Sign, and Tsubasa Chronicles. I looked up the B-Train productions, and I've only seen one of them, and that is Metabots. So when I was really young, Metabots used to come on, and I loved it. I watched it with my one friend, and we talked about it all the time. It brings back a lot of memories, actually. I was pretty fond of that show. But aside from that, I haven't seen any of the other B-Train anime shows. It doesn't seem like they're in production anymore, which is unfortunate. I think the last show they made was 2011? Could be wrong, but I hope it's not. My last question is, have you played Medieval for the PS4 remaster? No, I haven't played it. But I remember hearing about it when I was younger, and then I saw the video that you sent me. And it looks awesome. It looks like a lot of fun. I really like the aesthetic of it. It was released last month. What class rank would you put Sir Daniel Fortescue, the undead main protagonist from Medieval, if he joined the Hero Association? I think Sir Daniel Fortescue and Zombie Man would be best friends since they are both undead and are monsters. So does that mean Sir Daniel Fortescue would be considered a monster in Dr. Genus's eyes? He would absolutely be a monster, for sure. Now, he wouldn't be a monster to the audience, but same way that Zombie Man isn't. But Zombie Man technically is a monster, and Fortescue is even more so a monster than Zombie Man, because he's got this like monster-esque appearance to him, first of all, and then the supernatural quality that makes him who he is. So I think he would probably be low rank S class. I wouldn't necessarily put him in top of the A class, although he could maybe be around there. He's not too powerful, which is refreshing, but he's not weak at all. He does have some pretty powerful ability with his sword, but the final boss of the game didn't seem like a dragon. It seemed more like a demon to me, and the fact that he could take that down definitely proves that he's S class. So I put him around Purry Purry Tank Top Master, Zombie Man level around there for sure. ShadowBatX asks, what's happening disaster level above Saitama Shonen? You want above all or on a roll with all the above disaster level videos and hinted of doing an above God video. However, you forgot to include another forbidden above video. We still need an above thick video. If you put Fubuki, Tatsumaki, and Saitama posing after beating the Dream Subterraneans in the thumbnail, you would get over 2.3 million views than the Saitama vs. God fan vids. Hey, thank you, ShadowBatX. You're too kind, my friend, and maybe one day I'll make a video like something like that. I'll have to do it tastefully. I don't want to go, too far into the realm of clickbait and just egregious content. But people do request that I make stuff like videos like that. Mainly with Fubuki and Tatsumaki and loot stuff like that. So maybe, we'll see how things go. Speaking of God, do you think that God could possibly be the first human to remove his limiter? Huge stretch, but if it's true, he could be a human that was born in the 1900s if the main story is set in 2015 or later, and his powers could be espers that continue to evolve, which transforms into fourth-dimensional abilities. Also, I think that God could have been human, because in your vid, God explained his true form is fleshy. I may be putting too much faith in that form, but it's a possibility. What do you think? Hey, that's actually kind of cool, because the whole Esper abilities thing, I like that, because Psychos, when she taps into the third eye ability and she looks into what the perceived future could be, it's kind of interacting with God at that point. So that could be her going into an ability that God has gone into, or maybe God even invented. Maybe he invented that because he just was originally a human that became an Esper. That would be super interesting. And I think that's just as likely as what I think. I think that he is what Vaccine Man said. He's the will of the earth. Like the earth underwent monstrification or something, and then that's its personified consciousness or whatever. But I like that theory, ShadowBat. I really like that. I think that's pretty cool. Last question. If Saitama did decide to train people like King, Fubuki, Bang, Flashy Flash, and My Mask, could they get stronger, or can't because they are people who already have powers, while Saitama had nothing? Saitama tried to train Genos, but throughout the series, Genos continues to get stronger on his own. What do you think? Anyways, I wasn't trying to butter you up with compliments to get that vid, but you really are the one above all. Have a great holiday, my friend. Hey, thank you, ShadowBatX. I hope you have a great holiday, too. So I don't think they're going to get any stronger going under Saitama's conventional training. The real asset to Saitama's training here is him pushing himself beyond all beyonds. Like, that's how he, 3 years continued node breaks, broke his limiter, but then also there was Zenkai boost sprinkled in there. And I think that's the key here. So if they were to get the Zenkai boosts, they would undoubtedly get stronger. It seems like everyone can become stronger with this ability in this world. But if they were to just do the push-ups, the running, the squats, and all of that, it really wouldn't do much for them because, like you said, they're already strong. King, on the other hand, it doesn't even sound like he'd be motivated enough to do that. But if he were to replicate the exact same training that Saitama did, he would eventually remove his limiter. But that's easier said than done because you need to have the insane mental fortitude that Saitama does, which very, 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 very few people have. Like, only really Garo has that level of mental fortitude. Steven asks, Bunazo, I don't know how to say that accent over the A. Which One Punch Man heroes would make the best and worst parents? Keep up the good work. Hey, thanks, Steven. So the best parents would be a duo of fathers between Metal Bat and Puri Puri Prisoner, because Metal Bat, the way that he cares about his little sister, I think that would easily cross over into how he cares about his child. So that's a big asset right there. He's a great guy, great big brother, would make a great dad. And then Puri Puri Prisoner, very lovable guy, very caring, cares so much for his quote-unquote boyfriends from his jail. So I think that would definitely cross over into like a kid as well. And then as for them being good parents together, well, that's a different story. But as for the care that they would give to their kids, it would be top notch. The worst parents, Saitama and Tatsumaki. Saitama, he doesn't really care about anything except fighting strong dudes, and he barely even cares about that. He is very uninvolved in things. I don't think he would be a very good parent. Like, he would be very uninterested. He wouldn't care enough, and he's very, he has a very low tolerance for things as well. So, like, putting up with crying and changing diapers, or just even toddlers and stuff like that, it's not really something that he would want to do. And then Tatsumaki, she's just super immature. She's basically a child herself. Very self-centered, very career-driven, very prone to fighting, very argumentative. Not good for raising kids at all. So yeah. Yonatan G asks, hey, the one above all. Thank you, Yonatan. My questions are Flashy Flash Bang, Super Ollie Darkshine, and Drive Knight, Beefcake, Carnage Kabuto, Goketsu, Elder Centipede, Evil Natural Water, Overgrown Rover, and Black Ass Pre-Woke Garo, the one that fought Golden Ass. How far would each hero go? I think the one who will go the furthest will be Flashy Flash, and the one that will stop first is Darkshine. Yeah, you know what? I agree with that. I think that Darkshine is really going to have his hands full of just Carnage Kabuto, as we saw in the VGS. It just took him in his full power for 15 minutes to take him down. And then we've got other high dragons here, which is going to be way too much for him. So he'll probably go down first. Also, given his mental fortitude, which isn't the best, as we've seen. And then Bang, he would go pretty far. But, man, he would probably just have his hands full with just Goketsu. Also, so this is like a tall order for this group of heroes, but I'm sure that's what you had in mind, since it is not in their favor at all. And then Drive Knight, we haven't seen his full power yet, but he could probably take down Beefcake. Not sure about Elder Centipede, not sure about Black S, and then Pre-Woke Garo is probably going to give them some of the most trouble here, along with Overgrown Rover, and then Flashy Flash. He's going to go, like I said, like you said, probably the furthest. Because of his speed, his durability, his strength, it's all pretty top-notch. But it's just not looking good for any of them. But, given Drive Knight, since we don't know his full power, and just basing off of what he did against Neon, I would still say that Flashy Flash will probably go the furthest here. But, man, this is like an onslaught for them. My second question... In the season 2 opening, just before and just after we see Saitama's name, he punches a gigantic monster. For me, it kind of looks like Goketsu. If it is Goketsu, do you think it's actually how their fight went? Thanks, bro. So yeah, that's definitely Goketsu. It was kind of a spoiler for the people who have only started seeing season 2, but that's more or less how their fight went down. Like, it looks like he's throwing like a kick/stomp at him. And that's pretty much how Murata depicted it. Like, Murata drew one panel of what the fight looked like, and it was Goketsu throwing like a huge kick at Saitama, and he was avoiding it. And I think that's what they're basing that whole opening sequence off of, just that one panel that Murata had. And then it really depends on how many strikes he threw at Saitama, because there was a couple shockwaves, and then one of them, of course, was him punching him. But more or less, he one-punched him, because he states that he only took one punch. So pretty much that's how the fight went down. Give or take one or two more strikes from Goketsu thrown. Also, Shonen, this time I have a serious question, and I need you to answer as serious as you can. What will be Shaggy's disaster level Thanks, bro. So if we're talking about the Shaggy of legend, the meme Shaggy, he's God, maybe even above God, because he has Ultra Instinct. He's defeated Beerus. He's also defeated Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, so that's unfair territory. He's, like I talked about above God briefly. This is where Shaggy would be for sure. He's virtually unstoppable at that point. But if we're talking about, like, regular Shaggy, like from the in-canon of the Scooby-Doo verse, he's probably below Wolf at that point. Martin G91 asks, got a DBZ question for you this week. Do you think the Namekians would be better able to handle the stress of the Kaioken technique given their physiology? Namekians can regenerate as long as their head is connected to their body, can elongate their limbs long distances showing extreme flexibility, and can even after their body size alter their size to become massively bigger. I kind of feel like a Namekian would be able to alter their body to withstand the stress of the Kaioken technique, or at least handle it better than other races, maybe Frieza's race, as long as they are durable, little buggers. Yeah, Frieza's race is overpowered. I wish we got more into that, but I wish we got into a lot more things in Dragon Ball. So yeah, definitely Namekians, namely Piccolo, could use the Kaioken to its fullest extent, in my opinion. Just their regeneration abilities alone would really help them out in this, since it does break the body down and puts immense amount of stress on it, which is why Goku is so limited in the capacity of this, or at least initially. When he's using Kaioken Blue, Blue Kaioken, at first he claims that like it's a huge stress on his body, but then after that it's kind of just like okay, but that's another thing. But I would love to see Piccolo use this. It would certainly go into his wheelhouse, and they could explain it this way too, being like, my Namekian regeneration allows me to use this way better than you, Goku. But he also even trained with King Kai, and the other Z fighters did too, but he didn't bother to teach them the Kaioken for some reason. But I would love to see Piccolo use this. It would definitely fit. starting from the beginning of Dragon Ball, at what point or saga would you say Kid Goku hit S-Class or Dragon level, not counting his Great Ape transformation? So he's like fringe S-Class when we like first see him. Because he's already strong enough to tank bullets and go against Master Roshi, and that's like close to S-Class level stuff. But to say definitively Dragon level, low balling it, I would say probably after he drinks the Divine Water. That's like around the time when he's fighting King Piccolo. He's definitely Dragon at that point. Like the craters and the amount of damage that he's able to do and the speed and everything, that's like Dragon level. So yeah, Kid Goku's pretty broken. He always has been. Just Dragon Ball in general is just broken. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 87. Wow, I can't believe that. It's all so awesome. For your awesome support. Can't thank you enough. And if you would like to be in next week's Q&A, just simply check out my Patreon. The $5 tier will give you access to this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, too. I'll see you in the